Hello and welcome to Offload, our weekly podcast where we just talk about stupid shit. I'm Charlie.
I'm Jared.
I'm Jason.
I'm Tom.
This week's episode, hashtag like for like.
Every post you make, every pic you take, every tweet you make, every heart you break, I'll be stalking you.
Like for like?
Like for like, mate.
No.
What do you mean, mate?
Twitter's for gays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It's more for Instagram, to be fair.
Yeah,
Like
so-
for like.
Well,
If you haven't already guessed,
Hashtag follow for follow.
this week's episode,
it's time for a genocide.
social media. And a lot less genocide, but...
A lot more genocide. Social genocide.
So, everybody has... We're definitely not these people. But everybody... There are so many people out there that assume, you know, that they go on social media and they make it seem like that's their life. Like, if they haven't got... They kind of judge their own self-worth based off of how many likes they have. Like, they feel like they're ugly or something's wrong if they have, like, less than, like, 50 odd likes. And it's just like...
Yes.
who-
And those
who
people
gives a
need
shit?
to be culled.
It's just like the
We need
culling
to.
of social
Yeah,
media.
we need to cull them, and we need to do a genocide.
If you're one of those people...
Jared needs to be at the helm.
Mhm.
So if anything backfires, we can blame it on him.
Jadolf Flinler.
The new fish is the
What?
human shield.
But
That is your job, new fish.
But-
You've been given a job now.
but I'm not-
Fucking do it.
I'm
Human shield!
but I'm only the tallest. I can't cover all you guys. But
He has a point.
you,
He has a point, Tom.
you,
can
my
get
friend,
picked off in
me-
the sides.
he can get behind you. Me and him could get behind you. You know what I mean? Not all three of us. You know.
I know. But unfortunately, no. You are new fish.
The only
This is your
problem
job.
is Tom's already got a job.
Yeah.
So... And if he's human shield, then we have nobody to upload. At least if you're human shield, we still have topics.
We still have a
advertisement,
still have a
and we still
circle
have
going.
upload.
Well, you would think you have advertisement, but
By the way, guys, Tom would like to apologise for the fact that we didn't have an episode last week.
I'd like to apologise in lieu. I'd like to apologise in lieu of Jared because he had the shits and he did not attend a recording session.
all right, all I'm gonna say, yeah, is when you make a chicken burger that is,
Hashtag Columbine.
and ask for no lettuce, you put fucking lettuce on it, and then you
Lettuce does not give you the shits.
No,
Jared.
I think it's just the trauma of having lettuce that opened his bowels.
no, that weren't it. I was so
what are you
angry
going
that I
on
had
about?
lettuce that I just ate the burger. I removed the lettuce, ate the burger, and I weren't paying attention. It was undercooked. So I was sitting there in the morning.
You were
just,
such fueled of rage you didn't realise you were getting salmonella.
yeah.
Salmonella poisoning.
Oh my lord.
Anyway, back to social media and stuff like this. Now, I know a good few people that judge their self-worth on how many likes they have. And they tend to be, let's be honest, they tend to be the most anti-social people. You know, the people that you'd be sat in a room, and they spend their life on Facebook or Snapchat just with their eyes down to their phone. You're talking to them and they're like, yep.
Uh-huh, dude, I know what you mean all the
It's
time,
just
bro.
It's just these people that post.
People that sit there in the corner mooing at their phone.
Subscribe.
However, I have seen someone of this four people put in the bios of hashtag like for like before on an Instagram post.
And
Is it?
it was swiftly deleted.
Yeah, no. I was
For the
gonna.
record, I didn't call anybody out. That was all him.
It was swiftly
yeah.
deleted and it should never be spoke about again.
I was gonna say if it was anyone, it would be him. It would.
Yeah.
It would be.
But
You won't find me dead on fucking Instagram.
no,
I made
he's
an
the
account.
kid.
I follow you on Instagram.
Yeah, I made an account, posted like 3 memes and left.
I post once a year now.
Right, well, speaking
My
of
annual post.
Speaking of Instagram,
Just so
and it
people know
was
it's alive.
inevitable. Me Julies.
Oh, for fuck's sake. No. Let's not bring his mum into this.
You literally just called her out like that could have been
that.
anyone.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
not
That
me.
could have been anyone, and you mentioned it was
Anyone.
someone's mum.
Well, shit.
Right, well,
Blame him.
okay, so
No,
if
my mum.
anybody's-
My mum's name is Glandula.
Angela Flynn.
No, you said his second name.
We've said his second name before.
Not on the podcast.
Not on the
Yes, we have.
podcast. And now
But
you've
we've
said-
never mentioned the Julie.
And now you've mentioned his mum's full name.
Alright, abandon the ship, lads. I'll see you in Peru.
You better tell her to what. If anybody's on Instagram.
Actually,
yeah,
no, this will do her wonders because she wants people to follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, hit her up.
No, she's deleted it now.
Oh,
I convinced her. I convinced her. I was like, Mum, I have a
Alright, let's
reputation to
double- let's double
withhold as a
check
youngly, as a lovely young man.
Lovely.
No,
Lovely long man.
We had Youngly, and then Love. What was it?
Lovely.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I'm loving
Alright.
these words, lads. Sorry.
Alright, I don't know. My brain's on the skids today. It's on a
Brain's having
skids
the
mission.
shits,
Yeah.
Catching up from last
This
week.
is your mum, right?
No.
Alright, cool. I think she's deleted it.
Alright then, yeah. Alright, don't worry about that. We can't hit her up. But anyway, point being, these people that, all they care about is social media. What you see now is, what's even worse is what I see. When you have people like on Snapchat, that when they post a picture on Instagram, they'll go on their Snapchat, put on their story, recent. You know, that all like recent.
Oh, what
bollocks.
recent? Yeah, basically saying, oh yeah, like my recent.
Yeah, go check
But
out
no, I
my
don't like your
recent.
recent because it's fucking boring.
And it's just
There's
like,
a reason I didn't like it in the first place.
yeah, if I genuinely cared about you uploading pictures, I would have seen it by now, and you would not need to remind me on the Instagrams or the Snapchats.
It's got a point.
But Facebook's turned into like a lot more. To be fair, I don't even know about Facebook. I literally just watch it for, I just go on it for the shit posts. Do you know what I mean? Like, like all the
It's
retard bad
it's
Bible
what
videos and
most
all that.
normal people use Facebook for.
But you have the people. I love these people that put statuses. One of our friends, actually, right? I wouldn't say friends, but one of our colleagues from sixth form that loves to spout random political bullshit on his Facebook page, right? And
Yeah. Is this who I think? Is it JC?
No.
Oh, no.
What have I done?
No. It's not. No, another
Yeah, no, I know what you
JC.
mean. I know what
Yeah,
you mean.
yeah.
No, you didn't go sixth form.
Telling me
Oh.
Jezza Corbyn went to us.
Spouting
Spouting
political
all that
shit.
bullshit.
Some say he's the leader of a party.
On
now,
a
but-
serious note, my mum absolutely hates that man.
Well, that's
Well,
one more
she's,
reason.
Jezza
That's one
Corbyn.
more reason Julie's the only based Flint.
Oh,
Oh,
that's nothing new.
No, I know, but I just have to bring it up. Like, so this bloke, right? This bloke.
Yeah.
At the end of sixth form,
He's probably the one that undercooked your chicken burger.
at the end of sixth form, he would
It's on.
always like talk to, especially me and Jason, because
He didn't like
unfortunately
Tom.
Tom
No.
never made it to the end of sixth
No,
form.
believe me, in form time,
Yeah, there you
I
go.
got it constantly.
In form
Okay.
time, yeah, literally like all it is.
I actually really like that dude.
I don't mind
Yeah, it's
him.
just not when he comes into my work while I'm
Not when he starts
supposedly
spouting-
working.
No, but
and
not when
talks
he's
to me for
spouting
an hour and a
random
half.
shit about, like, what's it called? Not when he's starting spouting random shit about politics. It's just like, I don't mind the dude as a dude, but seriously,
I
like,
don't care.
we really don't care. It's just like, especially because the bloke's like Muslim and that. The main topic is like Muslims in like politics and how someone's been racist or something's against the Muslim community. And I'm just sat here like, bruh,
I know.
I'm not Muslim. I really don't care.
I caused it.
Like, he's like, oh yeah, so what do you think about people's opinions on like Muslim in Slough? And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm not Muslim. I don't like to consider myself living in Slough. Unfortunately, I do. I
But
don't
you
like
fucking do.
I don't know, but I don't like to think about it, and I don't really associate myself with people outside of us four and the people living in my house. So I don't really give two shits. And I've heard that question about 7 times, right? And looking on the Facebook thing, I see comments like that about 6 times, like in a row, and you're just like, do you have nothing else to do in your life?
On the topic of social media and political agendas, I would like to piggyback to something that Jason was involved in very recently. A certain person who we used to know is very much a heavy Labour supporter, and he posted on Facebook. Basically, he had like a rant, and he's like, "All right, any people who are voting Tory, please kind of explain to me why glasses. Please explain to me why you're voting Tory, because I'd like to have a conversation about said things, right?" But for fuck's sake.
Thank Charlie.
Sorry, carry on.
Ugh.
For those listening, our mic stand just fell.
Well, this is gonna be edited out. Because that is a
Yeah,
lot of
we
noise.
should leave that shit in.
Yeah, Tom, just remember 10 minutes, 8 seconds.
I'll hear it in the recording.
Fuck me.
So speaking of random social...
No. Anyway, yeah, so something that Jason was involved in recently on Facebook, there's a guy who's a very heavy Labour supporter. He basically put on Facebook, oh, anyone who's thinking of voting Tory, please tell me why. I'd like to discuss this kind of thing. And he said, it's okay, anyone can join in. So, obviously, Jason's going to probably vote Conservative.
I'm still on the fence. It's
Yeah.
either them or UKIP at this
So,
point.
Jason's, he's in the run to kind
You
of
can tell we're
vote
not
for
racist.
Conservative.
I'm not racist. I just hate socialism.
Can't be racist. You're
Yeah,
basically
he's
a
black,
human
yeah.
panda.
True. And then Jason basically gave his 2 pence on the situation of why he's voting Conservative versus Labour. And so this guy comes back like with all these rebuttals that are like 2 paragraphs long compared to Jason's like half a paragraph. So you can tell this guy's clearly
No,
trying to get
he
his
was
point
trying
across.
to convert me to the Church of Corbyn.
He was clearly trying to get
Yeah,
his
bro.
point across.
This guy's basically a Christian.
Now, when you're done, I have a point to make.
Alright,
but
cool.
continue.
But so basically after Jason had kind of given him these half paragraph answers that are probably just as informative as this guy's 2 paragraph answers, he kind of comments, oh, if anyone else wants to get involved, please do, kind of wanting someone else to back him up against the argument against Jason, right? And then the only 2 people that liked this guy's comments were the 2 people that are always involved with this guy that we also don't like.
Ah, yes.
Right, so yeah, said people.
Both
So-
of the dudes or females?
one dude, one. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they liked it, and then basically kind of another guy got involved, but he was kind of on the fence about it. But essentially, you can tell he's trying to push the political agenda, and when someone tries to confront him about it, he kind of gets all edgy and clearly tries to over
Basically, a
exaggerate
political
his point.
hipster fuckboy.
Yes, he tries to over exaggerate his point, and it was just fucking hilarious to read. Right. So anyway, yeah, what was your point?
Oh, what? Are you done with yours?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
fair
it's
enough.
just taking the piss out of this hipster fuckboy on politics, thinking he's the shit. And then as soon as he gets some sort of confrontation, nobody backs him up because he realises nobody gives a fuck.
Yes.
But yeah, now that's the way politics is. But bloody hell, on Twitter, because I'm really active on like Facebook or Instagram or that. I'm more active on Twitter because I feel like Twitter is the more there's a lot more freedom on Twitter in my opinion. So
Try
I
and say that one 120 characters.
Well, I'd say the difference between Twitter is your face doesn't have to be attached to it.
yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can just be a random fucking, like, big titted anime like, avatar. You could be a fucking Pepe picture.
We've seen
Could
certain
be...
people on Facebook.
Yeah, there are those spastics on Facebook too, but there's so few of them.
Yeah, compared to Twitter.
Yeah, no, but on Twitter, literally people are pushing for Corbyn back. And one of our friends, who might have been at a certain barbecue,
All right.
Oh, okay, yep.
yeah, who wore a similar top
Yeah, no,
to
I know
my
who you're on
fashion.
about.
Yeah.
I know who
no,
you're
no,
on
I
about.
took a moment to...
He is pushing for Corbyn so hard. He's like, number one, alright, this isn't even about politics, but he is trying to convert people to veganism so bad. I've told him before, I was like, yo, I don't mind that you're vegan, but please just don't try and convert
Leave
people.
me alone.
And all I see are like retweets of like, oh, look how horrible these people are
may be
killing
vegan,
animals.
but I am not.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
No,
and
that-
he'll try and like
Not
convert you
chicken
with retweets with like horrible stuff happening to animals, and it's like, yeah, those people are bastards, but that ain't gonna change me from eating said animal. Like, it's delicious, like, and it's good for your body. I ain't gonna stop eating chickens because they're getting slaughtered. No, they give me protein. They make me strong. I'm gonna eat chickens. You know what I mean?
It tastes nice.
But anyway, yeah,
If it's done well, I don't know about your half.
people are pushing for Jeremy Corbyn big time.
Yeah, I know that.
And people hate the Sun on Twitter. The Sun is the biggest man.
People hate the sun in real life.
Yeah. But on Twitter, it's exaggerated to like 500,000. Like,
I think
bloody
that's
likes.
because Twitter is expressly left wing. Like, in a lot of ways, you know, how I say it. In a lot of ways, Twitter, like, you know, kind of like silences conservative voices.
Yeah.
You know, but that's neither here nor there. It's a private platform, privately owned business. I don't care what they do. You know what I mean? But
I'm upset
Yeah.
that they got rid of page 3.
Yes, so am I. The only good thing they had going for them, and they fucked it.
let's be honest, newspapers suck anyway. If you want proper porn, well,
You're good, Tom.
yeah,
You can buy my sex tape on 4guysbroadcast.com.
If you want to see proper porn, subscribe to our Patreon.
To see proper porn, you type in lemonparty.org
no,
and you enjoy it.
no, you don't.
Just type in goatee, second link. You're welcome.
No, you go on Elephant Tube. But anyway.
Genuine recommendation.
Yeah. But anyway, so considering we're talking about kind of
How the fuck?
political kind of
Politique.
atmosphere.
4 days till we vote, lads. 4 days.
Who's everyone voting for?
I ain't voting. I don't vote. Never have, never will.
Typical teenager.
No, because if you
This is
vote,
where
they
the
make
hate comes in.
no, because when you vote, they try and make you do jury duty. I ain't doing that. I'm too biased.
So,
Like, let's say they're like jury duty, and let's say, for example, it's an assault. I'm obviously going to take let's say it's between a man and a woman, and it's domestic violence. The man had been beating up woman. I'm going to take the woman's word. Like, why would a woman lie about that? Don't get me wrong. There are some
So
sick
you don't
bastards that lie
vote due
about
to the
it.
off chance that you'll get picked for jury duty.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's some odd logic, but okay.
Okay.
Why?
Like you just said, that's some odd logic.
What if you vote, they have all your stuff down,
Okay.
so then they can call you up for jury.
There's
I
a-
don't
there's
want to
a
go to
very,
jury
very
duty,
Tiny chance they'll do that.
bro. My brother did it.
Out of
You know what I mean?
64
My brother has to
million-
do that.
Out of 64
Yeah,
million
it's
people.
apparently it's boring, and
Well-
you can't speak about it really. Well,
No,
you
you
can
can't,
speak
wait.
about it, but you
To
know what
the
I
other,
mean.
to the other
Yeah.
members of the jury.
No, you can't speak about it to them.
You all
I
have
swear
to
the
say-
jury have to make
Yeah.
a decision.
Yeah, but that
Now you
yeah.
just all sit in a room.
yeah,
and
but
look at
that's
each
have
other.
to
no,
make
but
a
when,
decision.
when the court's not in session, they can't talk about it. They
Oh,
can't,
yeah,
'cause
yeah.
They'll
we know
get in
that.
shit.
We know that. But that's what I'm on about. Like, the only person you can talk to about is the other members of the jury. Not outside of ours, obviously. But it's a very small chance.
But okay, fair enough. So you're not voting. So Tom, what are you?
I'm more than likely going to vote Labour, but not for Jeremy Corbyn.
Typical Welshman.
Not because I'm Welsh either. I'd vote Plaid Cymru.
Plaid Cymru.
That's part of it. But
We need a voice for Wales on the UN.
but it's essentially not because of I mean, Jeremy Corbyn's a bit of a bellend, to be fair with you, and it's unfortunate that he's the leader of the Labour Party. But I don't know. Their manifesto just seems more suited to what I would see as being better. So,
What particular pledge got you then?
particular page about the minimum wage being raised. I like my money.
You're not being
Yeah.
paid minimum wage anyway.
Doesn't matter. No, they're raising the minimum wage to above my pay grade.
Yeah, but what happens when they cut a bunch of employees from your company because they can't afford to pay
Now
anyone
the
that
fact that
minimum
taxes
wage?
can go up
It's
at
okay.
that point
Liberty
then.
Global's not based in the UK.
You're gonna end up.
Yeah, it's not based in the UK. It doesn't mean they won't cut the UK workers.
Yeah,
No,
no.
but the thing is though, if they increase the minimum wage, that means that you're gonna have to pay more tax on that minimum wage. So
Well-
you get paid more. You end
I'll
up,
still end up getting more paid.
With the 50 billion black hole in the fucking manifesto, you'll be paying more tax anyway.
yeah, I know, but if they increase, if they increase the minimum wage, just because of, they're gonna have you're gonna get 20%. 20% of more money is still more than 20% of less money. Do you know what I mean? So you're gonna end up losing money.
But then there's also the fact of
So overall, you might even be getting less.
the Tory manifesto. I just don't like. Just I've never liked Tory at all.
Fair enough.
And to be fair with you, any other vote going to any other party is a wasted vote. It is literally either Labour or Tory.
Actually, no.
I
do you know
disagree.
what? Oh, sorry. You actually make a good point. To be fair, whenever you see or hear anybody ask why are they voting, they always give reasons why they're voting their personal thing. You never hear anybody really say, like you said, I just don't like the other half, do you? You never, especially me, anybody that's had that question, anybody that I've witnessed had to answer that question, they always defend the party they're voting. Some people, for example, like Tom, and to be fair, I'm inclined to agree with him. I'm inclined to agree with him. Sometimes it's just, it's not the fact that I like them, it's just I don't dislike them as much as these guys. But you never really see that in any other book. I've never heard that before. It's quite an interesting thing, to be fair. Now you brought it up, that I agree with that. sometimes the only reason why you vote, for example, like Jared, who's indifferent, you get like, if you're indifferent, but you just happen to dislike one party more than another, then that's still a reasonable reason as to why you'd vote. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can see people turning around and going, "Oh, that's not a real reason to vote," but at the end of the day, it is. Do you know what I mean? Because it's still a very good reason. It's just I thought I'd bring that point up because
But the thing is,
first time I've seen
the
someone
reason
say
that you vote doesn't matter as long as
you vote,
as long as you do. No offense, Jared, but like,
Yeah, and none taken. I just think all politicians are corrupt, and I'd like.
Oh yeah.
they're all for
That's
themselves.
unanimous.
They
That's
don't care
unanimous.
about the country. They care how far they get up in their political
Yeah,
career.
exactly.
Well,
That's why I don't.
I'd say-
I don't partake in that.
I'd say all career politicians don't care about people, like and the leaders of the two major parties are most certainly career politicians.
Oh yeah.
That's how you become the leader of one of the two biggest parties.
But
But-
to be fair, it's like literally just at the end of the day, when you think about how much of them really give a shit about, all they're saying
A
is
very small percentage.
all they're saying is what. Because let's be fair, politicians around the world, you basically have to be corrupt to be a politician. Do you know what I mean?
Well, to have any level of success, you have to be.
Exactly.
So
it's like, funny enough, no, this is the thing, right? So I recently saw one of the debates. It wasn't the mayor or whatever. I don't.
Well, May didn't turn up to the main debate.
It might have been the main.
well, there was no main debate.
There was a debate.
There was no there was no two-party leader debate.
No, I'm about.
The seven
Wait,
the seven party debate.
Yeah.
that one.
But that was a fucking joke.
Yeah, but anyway,
It's just seven fucking people squabbling in a room pretending that they're politicians.
It's politics. That is politics.
yeah.
Not necessarily.
No, but
the fact that
no,
she-
that's
the fact that she
face
didn't
of
even show
politics.
up.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the
no,
face
I'm
of
not defending her
politics.
on that nonsense.
And then she turned up on question time the day after and got ripped the shit out.
They both got the shit ripped out of
Yeah.
them.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I was watching that purely because, not out of interest, I'll be honest, purely because I turned on the TV, going to watch Top Gear, and it was on, and I was making a cup of tea, so I didn't really care about changing the channel. Anyway, point being, I heard someone make. I completely disagree with this personally. Just for I'm going to explain anyway, but I disagree with this. But someone from the audience was saying, no, was it an audience? No, sorry, it was one of the fucking, I don't know who it was. It was a random chick behind. It was one of the people debating.
From Playa de
That's
Clam,
all I know. It was just a random chick, probably.
From same time.
Probably. It was a random chick.
Uh,
Anyway. So,
or the fucking, or that Green Party bitch.
might be. I really don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
one for politics. But the point being is, I never get into politics, not because I don't understand it, it's just it doesn't interest me in any way, shape or form, just because, you two deal with that, that's fine. We already have, a politician, we have a politician in the friend
No,
group.
that's it. I wouldn't say Tom's that interested in politics.
No, but I'm
either.
saying, we have the politician in the friend group. If anything major politics-wise is going to happen, you'll be the one to let us know. But
Although
point
you
being-
shouldn't use me as the only source because I'm a biased
No.
person because I'm a human being.
No, but I mean in general, do you know what I mean? In terms of the actual interest of
In
topic.
terms of what's happening.
Yeah, staying in touch. Anyway, point being, right, she turned around and she was basically saying against... actually, there's another point of the debate one, but I'll bring that up later. So she was saying how it was, outrageous or something like that, and how comes that... She was like, how come then one of our main incomes or something like that was selling arms on the black market?
Oh, yep, I know who you're on about. You were talking about... It wasn't to Syria. It was Leanne Wood, the Green Party co-leader,
Yeah.
saying that, it was shameful that we're the world's second biggest arms dealer.
Yeah, there you go. Something
But-
like that. And I completely think that's bollocks. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause
Like the Green Party's bollocks.
No, but that's what I think is bollocks. Like the fact that she's having a go at that, but she makes it seem like it's something surprising. Like, we're a government. What government isn't selling arms?
Well, yeah,
on the
we're
black
a main player.
How do you think we're going to get more money? Do you know what I mean? Everybody's
The great
complaining
game.
about. Everybody's complaining about how we're in debt and stuff like that. Arms dealing's a good way to get money. I'm not surprised that it's happening. If someone's going to do it, at least we might as well profit from it. Do you know what I mean? And the point being, I think at one point she mentioned Syria, but aimed it as if to say it against terrorists. And it's
It was Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, sorry. It's just but if we're selling it to Saudi Arabia, we're selling it to their government black market. We're not.
Well, it's not a black market. It's a straight arms deal.
Well, yeah, but we're not personally giving it to the terrorists. Do you know what I mean?
Whatever
The way
Saudi
they like
Arabia
to-
decides to do with that is upon their heads.
Yeah, and it's
we're
just
we're just a party too.
But the thing is, though, at the end of the day, if we weren't going to do it, they would turn around to a different country and get the exact same result.
Well, they're getting it from America as well.
No, that's my point. Like, one way or another,
bigger arms dealer.
One way or another,
The only bigger arms dealer.
One way or another, they're going to get their arms. We might as well profit from it. At the end of the day, there's no moral. How dare you? It's going to happen. Profit from it. Do you know
it's going to happen. Let's have a slice of the cake.
It's staying on top of. It's staying on top of realism, facts. Do you know what I mean? And she was trying to say, oh yeah, like basically target it. The fact that we're arming terrorists, and it's just like we're giving it to the Saudi Arabian government. It's not like we're going up to Jihadi John and going, "Here, have an AK."
Right. Have some of this last rounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever they decide to do with it is upon their heads. Like, you know, they paid us for it, so
Yeah.
our deal's done. Exactly.
It's just like it's an arms deal. I think it's just bollocks that they try and. It's like the other moral one was, I think it was UKIP and someone else, whoever was stood next to him. But basically there was like, oh yeah, also you find it funny, I think he was like, the UKIP like was talking about cracking down on like Muslims and that, like, you know, like terrorists and all that lot. And he was like,
UKIP's greatest.
And the other bloke was like, oh yeah, you can tell it was UKIP when he kept mentioning Muslims. And then he was like, oh, it's funny. Basically, he was basically saying, oh, it's funny how you're only targeting Muslims. Now,
that sounds like a snarky Tim Farron comment.
It might have been. I don't know. But the point,
to be fair, it's UKIP. It's expected.
Point being, it was just like the thing that really annoyed me about that is how many people went, oh, that's a point, racism, Muslim. But when you think about it, right, let's think about this factually. Ignore the religion for now. Let's just like pure fact, right? At the moment, the biggest like terrorist attacks you can think of, right? So 9/11 as a Muslim, right?
7/7.
7/7, Muslim. Multiple stabbings in London train stations, Muslims. Manchester bombing, a Muslim.
France,
Muslims.
Germany.
Although they are Muslim extremists, they're Muslim claim
extremists
to practice the Muslim faith.
But this is the point I'm gonna make in a minute, because you also have like many of the things that you've seen on Facebook recently. That was a car bomb in Istanbul, or something
Orlando
like that,
shooting Muslims.
Orlando shooting Muslims, right? So that's
a gay Muslim actually.
That was what?
And he shot up a gay nightclub, which is fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah,
because it was haram.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then there was another.
Had that clocking ass.
There's another bombing in Ramadan recently, or something like that, or whatever.
In Ramadan.
Yeah, like
we got a bombing in Christmas.
It's because the London. That's what the recent London attacks during Ramadan. That's what I'm about.
Yeah, no, there was another one in a different country, but a Muslim did it. Point being, I can think of
Manila,
that was
Philippines.
Yeah.
Philippines.
Point being, right? Oh yeah, and then you also had the shooting, that bloke that went round the beach shooting shit. Tunisia as well. That's 11 different events that within a minute we can think of that are all Muslims, right? The only time you know that they're extremists is when they pull the trigger or push the detonator. Before they do that, they're a normal Muslim, right? To us, like to anybody that's trying to look out for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they keep their coat on, it's normal. See, this is why I disagree with everybody having a go at. Yeah, I know it makes it sound like a racist remarks, and I know for a fact that they're using it to make their party look better. I get why they did it, but I disagree with it because when you think about it, right, if you're avoiding having a go at like putting Muslims on watch lists because you're worried about its racism, but then you have Muslim terrorists coming into the country one of the main reasons is because of we got involved with Afghanistan and all that lot and Islamic State. That's now increased people coming from the Middle East into England, making hate crimes and terrorist crimes against us for standing up against them or ISIS and that lot in Afghanistan.
I say, one of the main reasons was because of Tony Blair,
but the point being is we've gotten a lot more like people from because what they do is they go over
for it.
Because what they do is they go over to the Middle East because we're thinking these are like poor 14-year-old boys and all this bollocks that get taken in by ISIS and all that lot. Basically, grow up and get trained to hate Britain and shit like that. They ship over here, and then they blow themselves up, right? But the thing is, though, it's just the thing that annoys me is as soon as someone says Muslim terrorist, someone else that wants to make themselves look better are so quick to jump and say, "Funny how you said Muslim, it's racism." But that's bollocks because
the one thing I don't get, it's not a race. It's an ideology. If I go on, if I say, you know, the Nazis are fucking awful, you don't go, oh, racist. You know, how could you say that? How could you say that about Germany?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I didn't. It's
Or,
racism.
or if I go, fuck the IRA, how could you say that about Jared's family?
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
But the point being, right, if you're looking for a Muslim extremist, and there's a plane that comes into, I don't know, Heathrow or something like that, and there are a bunch of Muslims that are coming on, you're going to look them up. You're going to keep an eye on them. Not because they're Muslim and it's a racist against, like, Muslim people.
Due to prior.
It's due to the increase.
Due to fact.
The fact that we're on critical terrorism alert for the 100% solid reason of a Muslim extremist terrorist attack. You're not going to go, oh, it's fine, just keep going because you're Muslim. And that's not me being racist against Muslims. If we were,
racist is the wrong problem. They're not a race.
No, that's what I mean.
Like, it's a religion.
No, prejudice.
Like,
but that's what I mean. Like, that's what people claim. They will turn around and say racist. But the thing is, though, if we go back to, like, I don't know, the 70s and all that lot, I would say the exact same. If we, like, all went back to if we was in that time, I'd say the same thing for, like, the IRA, because you had the IRA and all that lot. It would be if we switched around, people saying racist and prejudiced against Muslims for keeping an eye or putting a watch list on Muslims that come into the country from Middle East and stuff like that is a bit like saying we're being racist because we're keeping an eye on putting a watch list on people coming over from Ireland during the IRA attacks. They're not during the IRA attacks when all you had the Irish bombings and all that lot. They weren't looking out for Muslims. They weren't targeting Muslims trying to find out who was a terrorist because they weren't the main threat at that point. They were looking for people that come from Ireland to come over here. And that's my point. Everybody, so many people that attack other people that say you need to keep an eye on Muslims is because at the end of the day, I would say the exact same thing with the Irish because they always forget that. Because at the end of the day, they don't wear uniforms. Muslim extremists don't wear uniforms. They wear the exact same clothes as Muslim people do. Do you know what I mean? And the only way, this is a pure 100% fact, the only way you can tell a Muslim between a Muslim extremist and a Muslim is from the start looking at the Muslim. Now, like I said before, the only way that the only way you find out that they're an extremist because it's all in their head is when they push the detonator.
That's the thing. It's the same argument with crazy people. So,
yeah.
say if someone's mentally ill and they go and shoot up a place, like before they arrive, they could look like a normal person.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only when that clicks in their head that they decide to do it. It's the same argument. So people will claim that obviously it's not racist. People will claim it's racist.
That's the thing
for
that
some
they jump
reason
to.
they still think Muslim is a race. They jump to it. It's like, oh, because he was a Muslim.
Yeah.
No, it's not because he was a Muslim. Maybe I was on a high alert because he was Muslim based on current fact. Based on current fact.
Well, it's the same thing.
I don't say every Muslim is a terrorist because they're not.
If I went
if
for some reason I went to Colombia, and the man next to me is like, "Oh, I'm a Marxist or a communist," I'll be like, "Well, I'm getting away from you because I know about the communist terrorist group.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to be around them." You know what I mean?
Saving yourself, but then you'd shoot yourself in the foot if you went otherwise. If you actually listen to these people that claim it's racist, you let a bunch of Muslims that happen to be Muslim extremists, or without background checks. Say if they pull a random Muslim aside and go, "Oh, I'm going to have to check your background and all this lot before you come in the country," that makes sense to me. Do you know what I mean? Because what if, funnily enough, he did have a background in terrorism? His uncle was a terrorist or something like that, or he was under the wing of a terrorist or an extremist, and they turned around and went, "Oh no, the public think it's prejudice. You can go along." Guaranteed that someone that's the son of an extremist is going to end up like that.
It'd be the same, because in the 70s during the IRA, obviously security was in airports and stuff is a lot more lax than it is now.
Yeah,
But
pre 9/11.
Say if the IRA bombings and stuff happened nowadays, any flights coming to and from Ireland would be probably just as checked.
Exactly.
As flights coming from a Muslim-based country,
exactly.
Islam-based country.
If the IRA things happen now, it'd be the exact same thing.
Exactly. He wouldn't sit there, because I'm Irish.
Yeah,
because I come from Ireland.
No, it's just it happens to be that there are Irish extremists, and we need to be cautious.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, do you know what I find funny? I know this is just me personally. Everybody knows what I'm like. I'm quite chill anyway. But the point being is, if if something happened, say in Africa, let's just say somewhere in Africa, right, where a bunch of white people decided to go over and then bomb the place. If I decided to go to Africa and one of the African people go, oh yeah, I need to do a background check on you because you're white and you've come over to this country.
Well, you
I wouldn't kick off. I wouldn't go, oh, is it because I'm white? I'll be like, that's fair enough. Because there have been a bunch of white people come over to your country and bomb it, and to you, all white people basically look the same. When you're looking for an extremist, like you said, it's an idea. When it comes to an idea, we all look the same. We're just white people to them. If you don't know them personally, we're just white people. Like, you know, if you have a flight full of Muslims, right, you don't know any of them personally. They're just all Muslims. That's as
exactly. Out of 100 people there, 99 of them could just very well be like a normal person.
Exactly.
But
it just happens.
all it takes is that one person.
But at the end of the day,
to
that
fuck
works
up the
with
99.
everything. Like, do you remember that co-pilot bloke that flew into a
German
mountain?
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, the German co-pilot. Yeah, that flew into the mountain.
And it's just like people
because I don't know, something
he
about
was depressed.
yeah, he's depressed. So he didn't, you know.
But it was weird because his wife was pregnant. So.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's probably why he was depressed.
Yeah, but point being, right?
Got to pay for another kid on the way.
Fucking cravings.
No, it turns out she's pregnant with another bloke.
Go out in the middle of the night and get fucking Maccas for her because she's craving it.
No,
it's not about that.
Like the point being is, you know, people like there's a massive debate after the aeroplane thing going, oh yeah, so how can we prevent these things? It's like, oh yeah, we need to be more thorough. We need to check for background illnesses and all that. It's just like, to have depression, you don't need a background in previous depressions. Do you know? They're like, it could literally, like you said
depression's
earlier,
a lot harder to find if you don't know what you're looking for.
And it's just like, all like you said earlier, it's just a thing. You could be the
Just go on Spotify. If you find Linkin Park, it's time to give up the goose.
It's just like, you could be the happiest bloke in the world, but if you get news or something like that, or you're just having a bad day, you know, because, you know, if someone's that happy and they experience a bad day that they're not used to, sometimes it can get to their heart and then that hits them, and spur of the moment without
it's just like saying, if you don't have any bad days, then how do you know the good ones are good?
Exactly. Exactly. And it's just like, he could have a bad day. He could have been like the happiest bloke in the world, a brilliant dad and a brilliant person, but that one day could have got to him and he thought, fuck it. And you know what, you know, all the research into suicides and all that lot, anybody that's feeling suicidal feels like they're in a bubble and they're on their own. So when he goes, oh yeah, when he crashed into the mountain and killed all those people, he was selfish and it was like like an attack. It's bollocks, because okay, fair enough, it was selfish. But
yeah, it was selfish, but he didn't see it like that. That's the thing.
That's the point, because at the end of the day, it was selfish from our point of view, because we're not trying to kill ourselves. If you think from his point of view, all he cares about at the moment is not the fact that there's however many,
about 200 people.
All he cares about is that cockpit at the moment, and he's the only one in it. And at the moment, he's the only one battling with the problems that he has.
Sure.
And now, for him, that mountain there is going to end all those problems. But because that's the only thing he can get into his head, and that's the only thing that he can think about, people don't come into it. But they're so quick to turn around and go, how can we prevent this? Sometimes you just can't. It's just human nature. The only way that you can prevent someone getting depressed and committing suicide is by getting rid of the person.
Well, I'm not sure if you're a psychiatrist would say that.
No, not get rid of them like that, but like, you know, like autonomous planes. You know what I mean? Like drone.
I
know you'd have like mechanical failures, but if everything was working perfectly, you wouldn't have an AI, like you wouldn't have a remote control plane go, I want to kill myself, my wife is pregnant, and go into a mountain, would you?
No, the robots are on the rise.
Terminator.
Skynet, just at one time, you planes that fucking make happen.
They always say, oh yeah, like the only problem with changing like your mind and killing yourself and shit like that, all of these things are human error. So little stuff like, you know, like how do we prevent that? Get rid of the human error part of it, and you're fine.
Yeah, we're a ways off of.
No, I know that. But I mean, in general, like, do you know what I mean? Get rid of the human error part, and it's just like for example, you know, the extremist stuff like that. You need to get rid of the fact that it's a prejudice, because if there's a bunch of Muslims that come over, and let's say even the 10 things, so 10 Muslims decide to, you know, that could be 10 Muslims in 4,000 Muslims that come over to the country, but that's still 10 Muslims that we let into the country, and they decided to like create these, you know, the terrorism acts and stuff like that.
The fact of the matter is that, like, going back to that point is, there's supposedly a network of these people in the country
Mm.
working, obviously in cahoots with each other. So that's the thing. It's not just like a kind of this is one guy that done this. It doesn't represent the religion. Of course it doesn't.
Yeah.
But then obviously just like a network of people doesn't represent the religion. But a network of people represent what they want to represent, and there's more of those people who can just as easily blend in with normal people.
Exactly.
Because there's not enough background checks being done with them. That's the thing. But that's the thing, like, a lot of people, obviously, yeah, there's a lot of people on social media that will constantly, like, I've come across a few, who will blame all people who practice the Muslim faith for, obviously, said person's actions.
Nice way to swing it back round to the topic.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's obviously on social media, a lot of people that would say, oh yeah, Muslims this, Muslims that, they're kind of combine them as a whole due to certain people's actions. But that's not the genuine problem here. The genuine problem here is the fact that they were able to do that so easily because they're part of the Muslim faith, and because it is now being seen as prejudiced and, in some people's eyes, racist, the wrong term to use, but the term that is being used. So people are scared to point it out.
The thing I find funny as well,
So-
it's a good point, and the thing that I find funny as well is, to those people as well that would also agree with that, the only thing that I have to say is, if you turn around and say it's prejudiced and racist, to keep a watch on people because just because they're Muslim, you're forgetting that the main organisation that claim into all of these terrorist attacks have the word Islam in their name.
Yeah, Islamic State.
Islamic State. And now, when you think about it, if you have Islamic State, right, and then...
Like, even Al-Qaeda didn't have them.
Exactly. But the thing is, though, it's just like, you have Islamic State, right? It's not prejudiced, it's not racist. You would be retarded if you was getting bombed by someone called an Islamic State, and you don't look at anybody that comes from the Islam faith.
It'd be the same as IRA, the
Exactly.
Irish Republican Army.
Exactly.
They have Irish as the first.
You would be stupid to ignore anybody that's Irish because the main terrorist threat has the word Irish in it. Do you know what I mean? It's just like they're literally slapping you in the face saying this is for Islam. I know it's not for, like, you do get obviously the people that are actually practice like Islam and are Muslim that say they don't represent Islam and Muslims at all. They're extremists, and I agree.
See, this is
but
going
the
to be
point being
a
is
funny
Islam.
sentence, but this is where Al Qaeda got it right. So that's all about. It's going to be a funny sentence to say.
Jesus.
Yeah, what have
I
I
can
just
see where he's coming from though, and I
This is
agree
a
with
great.
it.
This is a great start.
Al Qaeda got. Yeah, we're terrible. They got a lot of things wrong. Right, but they got it right in the one respect that they did in their name. They did not say that they did not represent a certain thing. They'd obviously bring out messages and stuff saying that, oh yeah, we do this in the name of Islam, stuff like that, in the name of the innocent people that you've killed, obviously, when they're still killing the same innocent people. But at least they didn't represent it as said thing.
Yeah.
The
Like,
Islamic
the-
State
like-
of Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Like ISIS and the IRA were doing.
It kind of
They
makes
bundled everyone in with their shit, but Al Qaeda didn't.
Yeah, they turn
They
around.
made it clear that they were their own group.
Yeah, they turn around
They
and
worked
said
on their own terms.
Al Qaeda is waging war on Britain, as opposed to Islam is waging war
Yeah,
on
it's
Britain.
towards Islamic State.
Because,
Yeah.
Because
In
that's
related
what
terms
that's
to the
what
Irish
it
Republican
implies.
Army.
That's what it implies, because everybody that's from the IS always say we do this on behalf of Islam and the people that you killed, and they always say on behalf of Islam, and they say Islamic State because they turn around and basically say that Islam is obviously
this is for all the Muslims.
this
out
is
there.
for all Muslims, intending that all Muslims agree. Do you know what I mean? I know it's wrong, but this is the fact. And like Tom said, to be fair, I do agree with that statement. Al Qaeda said, we're doing this for Al Qaeda. They are quite literally saying that we are doing this on behalf of the extremists. The extremists are waging war on, like the Muslim extremists are waging
Yeah, it's
war
more
on
of a
Britain,
we are waging
as
war.
opposed to the whole faith.
So that's what I said. Yeah, it'd be a funny sentence saying, "Oh, Al Qaeda got said thing right," but they did.
At the end of the day,
in terms
they did.
of they didn't rope so many people into their shit. I mean, they still caused a stir with the Muslim community, definitely.
Well,
because
yeah.
they were.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Muslim. So, but then again, they didn't in the name or in their statements tie anyone in with it.
But again, this also helps towards the my point earlier as well, is Al Qaeda was also Muslim. That's two massive extremist groups that
Boko
happened
Haram as well. Boko
There you go.
Haram was Muslim.
3 massive,
Hamas.
Yeah.
4 massive. I'm going to stop.
You
Don't
can
be-
keep going.
Yeah, we can keep going, but
I feel like we're hitting an infinite feedback loop here.
The biggest terrorist of all.
yeah, the biggest
Big
terrorists,
Daddy USA.
all of them, though, all of the main ones have been Muslim.
Yeah.
And when you get people that go, "Oh, it's approaches to look up Muslims," when you have the 4 names, just out of pure in 30 seconds, the 4 biggest terrorist groups, excluding the IRA, which we mentioned.
Oh, the IRA was never as big as any of those.
Yeah.
Exactly that, and the fact that it was 40 years ago.
Mm.
The point being, they are what we can consider current compared to IRA, and
Yeah, they've all
they're
happened within the last 20 years
Yeah,
or
and
so.
they're massive, and they're all Muslim. Now, that's not saying all Muslims are terrorists, but and I know this is going to sound quite controversial, but not all Muslims are terrorists. But at the moment, I'm not saying full stop, but at the
Most
moment, it's
terrorists.
seeming like almost all terrorists are Muslim. And now I'm not saying that is true in terms of every single terrorist ever is Muslim. At this particular moment in time, with everything that's going on with ISIS, at the moment, like in our area, in our time frame now, almost all, actually no, in terms of especially the ones to my knowledge, all terrorists are Muslim. And now, obviously, that's not dig at Muslims. That's just the fact at play. Like the 11 different terrorist attacks that we mentioned beforehand, all happen to be from Muslim people. Now, we're not saying all Muslims agree with that.
See, and that's just ones in, let's say,
That's just in
a
Britain.
globally local area.
Excluding
So
America.
Obviously, we mentioned there was one in America, there was one in France.
Yes,
But there's dozens of going on in the Middle East still as well.
exactly.
Middle
And
East.
that's just. But the thing is,
stuff
though,
like that, Asia.
that's just the ones that we've been.
The Philippines was
Yeah.
attacked by Muslim terrorists.
Tunisia and all that lot.
Well, yeah, Tunisia is in Africa, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
Northern
exactly.
Africa, they count as Tunisia. They would count as Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. Like not the Europe bit, but in terms of, I get what you mean. The things that have been on the news, let alone all the stuff that, because at the end of the day, it's like the first country that was invaded by Hitler was Germany. It's the same thing. You go to see Syria, you go to all the different places in the Middle East that happen. That where
The
people are
first country
Muslims.
that was invaded.
They are the people that are still dealing with these attacks. Muslim extremists also wage war on Muslims, which people are so quick to forget. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, oh yeah, all Muslims. But if that was true and all Muslims were terrorists, like if that was true, then why would a terrorist bomb a terrorist? That's just complete. There is no way that you
Gang
could.
signs, fam.
No, but do you know what I mean?
Bloods
If
and the
they're all-
Crips going on in Kazakhstan, you know what I mean?
if they're all supporting the exact same thing, there would be no conflict of Muslims bombing Muslims. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
anyway, Irish bombing Irish, anything. If they were all genuinely things. So anybody that tries to argue that fact, by pure scientific fact, you cannot argue that point for the pure fact of, if they were all supporting the same thing, they would not have conflicts and they would not be killing each other. That's like, that's like the British Army. If we, say for example,
If regiments start going against regiment, then yeah.
exactly. It's just the point of, the half of the British Army aren't Russian army. They're not shooting each other. Do you know what I mean? And that's because we are all from the British Army.
Call me Muslim.
But the point being is, if they disagree, if they all agreed, then there would be no Muslim on Muslim bombings, etc., etc. And that's the point. Do you know what I mean? You have all these people ending it on the social media point of side of it.
We wrap back around, lads.
Yeah. We finish off on. We start on topic. We finish on topic. That's as good as it gets.
I was going to say, where did it go from Instagram to political agendas?
Let's be fair. That's the one.
No, we went from that to the election
Yeah.
to
Twitter,
just straight up
and then
fucking Islam.
But let's be fair. You can't really. There's no way that you can discuss politics and not end up in terrorism.
But
Nah.
the main question,
Unfortunately, no.
the main question still needs to be garnered, right? Who is Lumfao?
Fuck's sake.
That's what we need to ask ourselves here.
If anybody's
You are
Amazon
Lumfal.
Lumfao.
For anybody that hasn't heard that reference, Tom, you're gonna have to put that in the description.
Yeah, I'll put it in the description. Please do watch
It's
it.
just a stupid video.
Face jacket, it's fucking hilarious.
But anyway, yeah. Point being, to end on the thing of like social media, everybody's so quick to attack. Now, funnily enough, from all the other podcasts and stuff like that, you would deem me the most racist out of all the four. But even I'm saying, in a serious note, at this particular moment, I agree not all Muslims are terrorists, but at this moment, almost all terrorists are Muslim. However, that's not a dig at Muslims, that's Muslim extremists. And like we stated before, anybody that tries to say that I'm saying all Muslims, my point being is, if that was true, you would not have Muslims bombing Muslims in the Middle East. And that's, to be fair,
if you still take it as he's saying that, go fuck yourself.
You're just picking a fight.
How did you get this far?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just picking a fight
Have you
that
not turned
you're
off
going
yet?
to lose. So
Upon our subtle words reaching your earlobes, how have you not turned off and
Yeah.
listened to something more in tune to your liking?
Hey.
Like the Teletubbies.
Hey,
yeah. So
ending it on a smoother note. Sorry.
Some small
No, that's fine. I'm
Hey.
That's pretty much what I've got to say this episode. If anybody's
Yeah, well, welcome to the Charlie cast. I mean,
has to be done once in a while, lads.
all I
I
can.
think the last time you had such a big segment on something was why we hate people.
Oh my fucking
Funny
god.
enough, both of them are having a dig at someone.
Yeah.
Alright. In any case, as per usual, if you like the cast, share it, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, all that good shit, all
All
that,
that good.
all that, smoke it up. Make sure if you want to support the show, to sub to us on Patreon. You probably shouldn't, but hey.
Fucking do it.
Do it. Give us the mounchi.
Give us the mounty, man.
Give it that cash dollar. Yeah, and enjoy your week.
There you
Right,
go.
and I've also got to do this because he kind of asked for it and kind of said I would. I'll make
I can
Ralph.
see where this is coming.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hell.
I'll make Ralph's got his own channel going up.
Yeah, the man we've talked so much shit about on this podcast.
Yeah, he's got his own channel going up where he kind of does like skits. Let's put him into the urban category.
He sounds so off. He does urban skits. Urban.
Let's put
No, I'm from Brightwell. I have
No, you.
all right. The
You can tell
roadman category.
I
was
live
gonna
in
say,
Upper
you can tell
Brightwell.
He's trying to promote it and not slate it when he uses the word urban.
The urban / roadman category.
Just roadman.
Right, there you go. Right,
Yeah, just roadman.
So he does skits based on like certain types of people. Basically, I'll link it all in the description if anyone wants.
If
Yeah,
you
the
are
chat-
fellow roadman Adidas smoke puffer, check him out.
If you are
Smoke puffer.
Adidas tracksuit,
you're
yeah,
Bob Bust,
I
you're
believe
Ralph.
If
that.
you are part of the normal person and you are a Commonwealth, watch Lumfow instead.
What's your file?
But, yeah, he's thingy, Spudsy, I believe is the name of the channel.
Yes, it is. So I'll put the YouTube in there. I'll put his Facebook link in there as well. I'm not going to put his fucking Twitter, so it will link all down.
Promote yourself.
You get the point.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's a dog-eat-dog world.
So
We can only do so much.
Yeah, his Facebook will link. To
Don't
his
worry,
Twitter
we're
and stuff
buying
like that.
shares in his company as we speak. We need your Patreon dollars to do this.
It's gone down to 21p a share. I recommend you pick some up. But
Look, Jared's been negotiating some Wolf of Wall Street type deals, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Yeah, I have big money. We got
Right,
Notorious MMA on next week.
That's
Oh, one last thing. I said this last time, I believe, but I'll say it again. If you are going to Insomnia 50, no, sorry, that's
Insomnia
fucking
60.
61.
If you are going to Somnia 50, let me join your time machine.
Yeah, you go to Insomnia 50 before the first one we went to, then yeah.
Sorry. If you're going to fuck yourselves, if you're going to Insomnia 61, we will be there, and we would very much like to meet some of our fans, like all 2 of you.
Come down from Russia, lads.
All 7 of you. But,
Do it, Igor. I need to meet you.
Yeah.
you used to have
You
some
see,
vodka.
Ivan, this is my podcast.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, Insomnia 61, we'll be there. Jared, have you got a confirmation of being there or not, or is it 3 of us so far?
3 so far.
All right, we'll stick at 3. At the very maximum, we can confirm that we have agreed that at least myself, Jason, and Tom will be there.
And we'll be bringing Spudsy.
We will have Fall Guys broadcast like merch with us. We'll be wearing it, we'll be repping it. but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you're stuck on the idea of doing a face reveal before 61 anyway.
Yes, yeah, just so they know who they're looking out for.
So yeah.
No, you just got to see the sweet merch and they'll realise.
That turns out it's just a dickhead that bought it off Amazon.
But we don't sell it on Amazon.
Yeah, who was buying Amazon? I want to know.
So someone's
find
buying it and selling it on Amazon.
Hey, motherfucker!
Buying it from our non-existent store that we do not sell T-shirts on.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah,
sort
you
of
get the
thing.
point. But yeah, so that's your... Jared, have you got anything else to say?
Merry Christmas.
There we go.
Merry
Well,
Christmas,
Australian Christmas.
everyone.
Well, by routine, I've been Charlie,
I've been Jared.
I've been Jason.
And I've been Tom.
and we'll see you next week.
Farewell.